Am I the asshole for telling my dad he needs to man up and be a father? I, 16M, have 3 younger sisters. 11, 9 plus 9, our mom passed away due to complications with the twins. From a pretty young age I took a lot on with looking after my sisters because my dad was struggling with grief. My aunt lived with us until the twins were about 18 months, but after that it was all on me. I've never minded. When my sister was 5 her school was talking about moms and dads, and she came home and asked if I was her mom because she didn't have one. Since then it's sort of been a joke, and all 3 of them call me their brother mom. Anyway, my younger 2 sisters have just started their periods. I learned how to deal with them pretty quick after my first sister, but our dad is still pretty clueless. 2 days ago I was cleaning a pillow one of the girls had bled on and he got pretty angry, and treated it like she'd pissed on it. Asking her why she hadn't just held it or gone to the bathroom. I tried explaining that periods didn't work like that, but he didn't seem to want to listen. I sent the girls down to the store to go buy some chocolates and we had a pretty big telling match, at which point I said, "You need to stop using mom as an excuse to be a shitty guy. Man up and be a fucking father." He left. The girls came back and we settled down in bed to watch movies and eat snacks. My aunt showed up and called me an ungrateful little cunt, because I don't know what it feels like to lose a wife. I told her she doesn't know what it feels like to lose a mother and be forced to take on the responsibility of 3 kids. Basically, everyone is just fighting now. Dad didn't come back until this morning, but he did apologize. I told him an apology wouldn't cut it and have since refused to talk to him. Am I the asshole? I know I could probably work with him and help him, but I'm so bitter I don't want to. First off, I'm so sorry you lost your mom. Losing a parent is one of the hardest things to go through, especially at such a young age. Secondly, thank you for stepping up and taking care of your siblings. That's a big responsibility and you seem to be doing it with a lot of caring and very little resentment toward your siblings. Third, you are not the asshole. Your dad needs to be an adult, and I'm so glad for you that you found the wherewithal to call him out and demand better for yourself and your family. Stick to your guns. Lastly, I can't believe your aunt called you names and diminished both your grief, and your continued parenting of your siblings. How awful. Don't listen to her. You are perfectly entitled to your feelings of anger and demands for your dad to step up. Not the asshole anyone who shames you. Give them the truth. My dad yelled and attempted to shame my sister for having her period. He refuses to learn and verbally berated her while telling her to hold it in. I am not willingly to have anyone hurt my sister and I have no problem doing it again. If your aunt comes back with respect bullshit, look her in the eyes and say, "Are you able to hold your period in?" Not the asshole, my dude. Your father plus aunt, whoever enabling your dad to act like a deadbeat father is. Leaving his underaged kids the whole night? And your aunt was there to tell you off, or was she there to stay with you whilst your dad was gone? Good on you to be there for your sisters, and I hope your dad looks back on this and finally steps up. You don't owe him anything, he's the adult and has to show that he means what he says. Not the asshole. You are also a kid, and while you stepped up when he hadn't, it is a form of abuse called parentification, obviously. When one of the parents died, an older sibling steps into some of the role, but fundamentally it is his responsibility. The thing is, that children that are parentified generally are the ones that disappear at 18, leaving the parent wondering what they did wrong, etc. Not the asshole. Although your father lost a loved one, it doesn't give him an excuse to neglect his children. Plus, you lost your mother. Does you aunt not understand that? Your father sounds like a sad excuse of a human being, and your aunt sounds like an enabler who thinks the parent is always right, although your father is acting nothing like a parent should. They are both the asshole here. Hope you can bring sense to your aunt and the rest of your extended family so they can maybe convince you father, because he seems like a real piece of work. Jesus. Not the asshole for you, and everyone sucks here for everyone else. I would be devastated if I lost my wife. But it has been 9 years? You are fully justified in metaphorically kicking him in the butt. I get loss and grief. If he needs help then he needs to get it, but he also has young children to take care of. Tough situation, man. No winners here, but great job being a brother and a pseudo-mom. You lost your mother and had to step into a parental role at a very young age, which you seem to be doing with little to no complaint. Parentification is classified as abuse. So what exactly are you supposed to be grateful for? Losing your parent? Being technically abused? Or is the old tried and true, I feed, clothe, and put a roof over your head, which is the absolute legal bare minimum of choosing to have children, and you are not required to be grateful for that. Not the asshole. It's a shame he has 3 daughters and doesn't understand the basics of female biology. Hold it in, always makes me feel secondhand embarrassment. Okay, seriously? Why do men think we can just hold in our period blood? This is like the 58th post I've read about some clueless cotton-headed ninny muggins thinking we can just squeeze our legs and everything will just be fine and dandy. What are they teaching you people in health class? By the way, not the asshole, you're a good man and your sisters are lucky to have you. Not the asshole. First of, 9 is really young to start having to deal with periods and puberty, so you do what you have to do to make your sisters feel good about themselves. You're a great brother. Second, your father having 3 girls to raise without a wife and not knowing you can't hold in a period is a disgrace. He really needs therapy and a biology class. Third, I can't believe your aunt. Everyone who ever had a period knows sometimes accidents happen, especially in the beginning. Enabling your father behavior won't help him in the long term, and insulting you was really uncalled for. Not the asshole, your dad has figuratively been running away from his problems, then when you called him out he literally ran away. Not the asshole. Tell your family you've lost both your parents and your dad thinks periods are able to be held in because he's a sexist idiot. Don't feel bad for telling him an apology wouldn't cut it either. Apologies don't mean anything without action. Not the asshole. You're being forced into the role of a parent. Parentification is generally considered to be a form of emotional abuse. You deserve a childhood, and your sisters deserve a father who cares about them. It really sounds like your dad could use therapy or counseling. I'm willing to bet that he blames the twins for your mother's death to some degree, even if just subconsciously. However, he did apologize. I told him an apology wouldn't cut it and have since refused to talk to him. That's not the way to approach the situation. He apologized, and while an apology definitely isn't enough, it's a start. And you can't move past this and find a way to resolve it if you refuse to communicate. You're a great brother, Mom. Make sure you take care of yourself too. Not the asshole. Holy shit, your aunt is unbelievable. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You are an amazing brother and I'm sorry you've had to carry such a big burden for so long. Take the time you need to calm down and be okay. Ignoring your dad may not work in the long term, but you are entitled to your anger. You, young man, are taking on way too much on your young shoulders. And it sounds like you are doing an amazing job. But it's not your job. You are still a child yourself. Is there any other family you can reach out to for help? Friends? Teachers? Your dad needs help and your family needs help. This is not an okay way to live. As a side note, you might want to get the twins into the doctor. Every body is different, but 9 is very young to have a period. It wouldn't hurt just to get them checked out. And not the asshole. You are one of the good ones, Op. You will be walking those girls down the aisle, not your father. He had a wife and fathered 4 children and doesn't know how periods work, so he gets mad at his 9-year-old kid. And your aunt somehow connecting this to him being a widow? While you seemingly lost your mother and father at the age of 7? What's wrong with the adults in your life? Anyway, not the asshole. Hope your sisters help you out around the house too. Not the asshole, you lost your mom and was forced to take on a parent role for your siblings while your father neglected you. When was the last time your father had truly taken responsibility for you and your siblings since your mother's death? You've taken care of your siblings for 9 years. How can your father call himself that when he hasn't even taken care of his children? Losing a wife is heartbreaking, but neglecting your kids and making the oldest, at 7 years old I believe, take on a parent role is worse. Yes, he lost his wife, but his kids also lost a mother. Not to mention he left you guys by yourself the whole night. It seems like you guys also don't have a father. By the way, I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the asshole, not even a little. So your dad, who married, and presumably had sex enough to get his wife pregnant 3 times, still thinks that his 9-year-old girls can hold in their periods. Yelled at them for something they are still figuring out. I mean, geez, they're not usually super regular when they start, and it takes time to get the hang of what your flow is like and how often you need to change products and stuff. Aside from the fact that he's upset about a pillow. And then left a 16-year-old alone with 3 other kids overnight after sicking his sister on the only adult in the family apparently. You. Because he hasn't bothered to make the effort to deal with his grief over his wife's death for the last 9 years? You're a freaking saint, Op, and I'm sorry your dad sucks. Not the asshole, this is so much on you and you are only 16. Your sisters must love and trust you a lot, that they come to you with this. Your dad is treating you shitty, he went out the whole night and left you all alone. When your sisters are a bit older, maybe they want to check out Mama Dr. Jones on YouTube. She's a gynecologist and her videos are really good, on different topics, some of which, like periods, will be more relevant for them than others, like pregnancy, for now. Maybe you can enlist the help of your 11Y sister, since you don't seem to have a decent adult woman in your life, to check on period panties, for additional protection, if the girls want. Not the asshole. Wow. First, you must be one hell of a sibling to do what you have done for your family. You should be commended. I am sorry about your mom. That must have been so hard for you. You are right, at the end of the day, your dad needs to step up. Your aunt is a complete shithead. I hope things start to look up for you, op. Sending you hugs, 2 hearts. Not the asshole. I'm really sorry you're living in this toxic situation. You and all your siblings deserve more love and support than you're getting. AITA For minors home alone? You're right, he need to man the fuck up. Losing your wife 9 years ago does not excuse being a shitty father. Not only that, but parentification is abuse, dude. You having to mother your sisters is just wrong in that you're still a child too. Not the asshole. I know I could probably work with him and help him, but I'm so bitter I don't want to. He's had almost 10 years to figure out how to parent 4 kids alone. His children aren't responsible for giving him instructions or spoon-feeding him. Assuming there's not more to the story, not the asshole. Not the asshole give him a book on periods. I can't believe he has had a wife and 3 daughters and doesn't know how periods work. Plus the youngest are now 9. He needs to pull his head out of his ass and work on being a dad. Not the asshole dad needs to grow up. Your dad is using the wound of losing a wife as a manipulation to check out, so he doesn't have to do the hard work. Not the asshole. He's going to end up losing all his kids if this is his attitude. And seriously, holding in a period. WTAF? Not the asshole. Looks like we have another case of parentification on this forum. You should never have been put in this position in the first place. On top of that, I'm so incredibly tired of clueless morons telling women to hold their periods. There is just no excuse. I'm male, have no siblings, and have never been married, and I know it doesn't work that way. There should be a special lecture in sex ed in every school to drill it into men's heads that menstruation is not something that can be controlled. Not the asshole. Your father on the other hand is a massive one. I'm a grown woman and sometimes bleed on my bed or clothing. It's normal. He needs to man up and be a father. Holy hell, not the asshole, but your aunt and dad sure are. I can't believe your aunt would dare speak to you that way after you've basically been a parent to your 3 little sisters. Your dad had a huge loss, yes, but it was almost a decade ago and all of you lost a mother. He needs, as you say, to man up and be a father. An aunt needs to either help or mind her business. NTA, how incredibly sad that a 16-year-old boy knows how periods work but an adult male doesn't. I mean boy in a nice way. You are a child and shouldn't have that much responsibility. I am so proud of you for standing up for yourself and your sisters. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You're already helping your father, op. It hurts me to hear that, you don't mind, your parentification. This is a very common form of abuse and, whether it's evident to you or not, you will bear scars and burdens from this for your entire life. You are a wonderful, caring sibling. Well done, you. Your sisters are so lucky to have you. Hang in there. Wishing the very best for you and yours. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but I also understand that your father will be going through a lot. Grief, of course you both are. But also the worries of financially supporting 4 kids on your own must be a huge stress. You guys need to sit down and talk it out. You clearly have the knowledge of how to handle the girls and you should make it clear to him how to deal with these things, but also you need to acknowledge the stress he's in and that he no doubt makes sacrifices for all of you. I think the shittiness of the situation is bringing out the bickering, but I'm sure it can be worked out. Not the asshole. Boot, you should probably have a calm talk with him, maybe after a therapist? Certainly your dad needs one. I sense this is more than the one time about periods and bottling it up does you no good. On the other hand, a yelling match is also not helpful. Quick tip: if you want to de-escalate, start talking at a lower and lower volume. The other person will subconsciously follow and then suddenly, no one's yelling and it helps people calm down. I would also ask your aunt what your mom's passing has to do with telling your sister to hold in her period. I bet your aunt got a very different story. So you became mom at 8. Your dad hasn't raised any of you and it's all a clear case of parentification. What will he do in 3 years if you move out? Not the asshole obviously. Just a heads up, but getting your period at 9 is early, so you may want to be on the lookout if they get serious period pains, since early periods are a sign of endometriosis. You are an amazing brother, Mom. They are so lucky to have you in their life. NTA. It's been 9 damn years. I hope you also reminded your aunt that your dad has 4 kids, not 3. I am also baffled as how you make 4 kids but don't know how periods work. I hope you can somehow get full custody of them all when you turn 18. Not the asshole, bro. You are doing a wonderful job. Your dad is a huge asshole though. I am so sorry you lost your mom this early on. Your aunt doesn't know shit. Not the asshole, not even in the slightest. You're an amazing young man. Please reach out to school counselors or something to get some help for yourself and your sisters. Not the asshole. God bless you for nutting up and taking responsibility when your father wouldn't. What your dad did is child abandonment, endangerment. Not the asshole. You dad is guilty of parentification, which is classed as an abuse. He does need to man up and take care of his kids and not expect his older child to do so. He is clueless. Surprised social services hasn't been involved. Not the asshole. If the aunt comes again, give her a piece of your mind too. I cannot fathom the absolute gall it takes to call a grieving child, who takes on the role of bringing up his younger siblings because his own father is refusing to be an adult, ungrateful. How even? Not the asshole 1000%. Wow, that's a lot for you to have taken on. Being like a parent from the age of 7 must have been tough, but you have done brilliant by the sounds of it. You are so not the asshole. Yeah, your dad lost his wife, but you lost your mom and had to step up as he didn't. I love how you look after them and care, etc., especially with their periods. You might not know it yet, but you will have made a big difference in their lives. Your dad is dumb regarding periods, and you set him straight, in a pretty rude manner. He did apologize. Why can't you accept his apology and move forward? Not talking to him isn't going to solve anything. This family needs some help. You have an aunt who calls you a cunt. You have a father who gets angry over period blood, and a son who is bitter and now is giving dad the silent treatment. Get some family therapy. I'm sure you all still love each other. Try to fix it. Held it or gone to the bathroom. Almost 8 years of having periods and I didn't know holding it was possible. Am I doing this wrong?